Hi my friends, welcome back to Alpha Physio Pelvic Care, all things pelvic health. And today I'm going to talk about a topic that have been requested quite a few times by my clients, by my friends, female friends, and also by people who just DM me in my social media. By the way, my Instagram is Alpha Physio Care, so if you would like to follow me on my social media, I talk a lot about things pelvic health and generally sharing my view on the different health topics. If you find this video relevant, if you like it, don't forget to press like button and subscribe to my channel. I have here video every week. Today I would like to talk about menstrual cups, and here I have two cups of the same brand. In fact, they were coming in the same package, two different sizes, and I would like to talk about these very specific cups. They came out when cups just kind of started to become a thing. Now, if you go into the market online, there are cups, different shapes. They're like a bell shape. They have a membrane on top. So very various cups. To make it simpler for user, they're more open, more narrow, and so on. So right now I don't want to give like overview of every single type, because in fact I need to try them to give you a proper overview. Neither my aim is to advertise any particular brand, because I believe that the essence, the principle of the cup is the same. A cup is something to collect menstrual blood. Let's first talk about the pros of the cup. Definitely economical one. If you buy a cup, you might invest $20, $30, $40 if this is something a little bit more branded and more fancier, let's say, and this can last you for years. Usually they say about 5 years you can use the cup and then you change it. I have used mine for about 4 years now, and I changed it once for one single reason, because there was a quite serious infection that I have treated, and I decided to discard of the cup. I decided not to sterilize it, decided to discard of it and get a new one to make sure I don't reinfect or get any single chance to reinfect, and I will talk about it in a bit. Thing is, if you need to, you can actually measure how much blood you lose. We're talking about plus minus few milliliters and so on, but generally if you need to measure how much output of menstrual blood you have, cup can be useful. So they can vary from different amount of milliliters, and this will be set on the package. This one is about 25 and 40 milliliters. Honestly, I don't remember exactly. It said on the package, it doesn't say on the cup. But if I'm willing to make sure that I do measure my menstrual output, that's quite easily done with a cup. Another thing is, of course, it's ecologically quite friendly. You just pour out your blood, you wash it with a bit of a lukewarm water, and you wash it with a soap and lukewarm water, let it dry, and then you reuse it again. And it's kind of hassle-free to spend money and to buy all the necessary hygienic products. Cons of the cup is that it might overflow if you bleed heavily. It's not endless collector, so if you overflow, you will overflow also with the cup. Second of all, you must be accustomed to insert things into vagina. Well, let's put it the way it is. If you really struggle with tampons, if you may be struggling with the intercourse, or you just about can do it, or you just dislike putting foreign objects inside your vagina, the cup might not be for you. And this is also okay. This is just one of the options. Need to sterilize it every now and then. Usually they suggest to do it after each period, so it does add a little wear and tear, but again, it's not like every single day sterilization, and some women might not even choose to sterilize it. It's plenty to wash it well with warm water and soap, considering you don't have any infections, because the biofilm is formed around the cup. No need to say it's a single person use item, full stop. There is no more comments about that. Another thing is, if you need to empty the cup, you have to have access to private space, namely usually toilet, and a sink with the running water and soap. So If you need to change cup maybe twice a day, and you know, okay, at that time I will have access to those things, then yes. Maybe you don't feel comfortable enough to take out the cup in your office space and wash it in the office space, for example. So this is something for you to consider. Maybe you want to use it just occasionally. And also when you remove the cup, again, you need to get your fingers into your vagina. So there will be kind of going into vagina. Again, this is something that you have to be comfortable with. With cups inside, you cannot have sexual intercourse because it will be plain uncomfortable for you and for your partner. It is a kind of space occupying device, so it will be occupying vaginal canal. So this is not the device that can give you, let's say mess-free period sex. Let's talk about finding the size. Well, as I said, these two cups I got in a same set. Before, when I just got my first cup, I just gave birth to my first son, which was almost 10 years ago. And the sizing went like that. If you didn't have a baby, choose the size A. If you had a baby, choose the size B. So there is assumption I might be bigger and wider after a baby, which is true and which might not be true. If you went back to your usual size, or maybe you had a C-section and maybe there was no vaginal birth that potentially can have increased your size, or maybe you're generally tighter person. In general, your pelvic floor, your vaginal canal is tighter, shorter, and so on. Maybe you still need that size A, or maybe you're just generally of a smaller build. Therefore, I think it's quite reasonable to buy a set of 2 cups. And if anything, you can always use the smaller one when you have less flow, and you can use the bigger one when you can have more flow. And this is what I do sometimes, because it's a little bit easier and faster to insert the small one. All in all, rule of thumb, cup is a bit of a trial and error in size and also in shape. I would suggest you to start with classic one, and then you might want to get like a little bell one. It's almost like a little circle like this. You can try that one, but it will be a little bit of a trial and error for you, so be ready for that. Cups also have these little tails, and mine is already cut. Usually they're very quite long. These tails are designed to remove the cup, but before you remove it, you will still have to break the seal that cup is creating. So you will have to go into your vagina, press against the cup, hear that sound, breaking the seal. It's quite characteristic sound and feeling. You'll understand the seal is broken, or you will need to pinch from the both sides until the seal is broken, and then you can remove and pull against the tail. If you don't break the seal and you just pull against the tail, can be quite uncomfortable. Then it's up to you to decide how short you want the tail, or maybe you want to cut it off completely. I know women who decided, I don't need a tail, chop it off. So it's there for you. It's quite long, and when I used it with the full tail all the time, it was very, very irritating. So I had to cut my short, so this is just about enough. But to be honest, I don't even use it. I usually pinch my cup, break the seal, and then I remove it. Let's say you decided to try a cup. How to insert it? Again, a bit of a trial and error. First, when we insert, we talk about how the cup looks like during insertion and how we actually insert it. So how the cup looks like during insertion. You can squeeze it and then fold it in half, and it will look like this, okay? Like a little heart shape, and that can be fairly okay and enough, and you can just insert it. I will talk about the actual insertion in a bit. Then you can maybe fold the inner part of the cup here and make it like this. Some people prefer it like that, and then as you insert it, you will need to let it out and open. You probably won't be able to insert it without being folded, because it won't usually go in easily, and it is full of air, and the air will be pushed into vagina, not very comfortable, and will not insert the cup properly. What are we aiming with the cup is to insert it as symmetrically as possible and to catch the cervix into the cup. I have here my pessary that actually is a great representation of a cervix. So this is your cervix and this is the cup. What we need to do is, let's say I folded my cup, we insert the cup, right? But we don't yet go on the cervix. Cup needs to be about fully into vaginal space before you unfold it. It catches the cervix and sits like this. Sometimes it will be a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. It can happen. But if you push it, let's say, too far towards your tailbone and might open it up, it will go under the cervix, or sometimes it goes at the side of the cervix. You will really understand it because you will just leak. You will absolutely, and we're not talking about little bit, you know, a little bit dirty on your underwear. It's like, it's going to be full on period leak. Usually you will feel that it is not in the right space. Women with uterine prolapse might have this issue. If you don't have uterine prolapse, or maybe you have a grade 1 prolapse, your cervix is high enough for you to insert the cup, for it to reach, open up, and then you give it a little push and it's there and it's in its place. When your uterus is lower down and the cervix accordingly is lower down, there can be space around vagina into it. So you might insert it and then it will open somewhere on the side, pushing the cervix away. So it really, really depends on your anatomy and is a little bit of a trial and error to catch the cup around the cervix. But please don't be discouraged. Most of the time people find it a little bit, you know, intense, a little bit needing a practice, but later on it works just great. So let's talk about the position, how the cup can be inserted. When we talk about the position, we need to think about where is our pelvic floor, how the vagina sits. So let's say if I am sitting on the toilet, maybe you prefer to do it on the toilet. First of all, you should not forget the fact that is not the cleanest place in the world, and must be really careful of not to drop your cup in the toilet, or maybe you want to hover on the toilet. However, hovering will increase the tension through the pelvic floor and might not make it so easy for you. I myself prefer it either in standing with one leg out or in a little bit of squat. So you folded your cup, okay, I fold it like this. I'll stand up, I'll just squat a little bit, relax. I put it on the outside of my vagina, and there is this fourchette, the kind of the skin before the entry, and I'm pressing gently down against it. So I'm just at the entry of the vagina. I'm not going against that skin, all right? It can be quite painful. So I'm kind of at the entry of the vagina, I'm pushing down that skin, I'm just at the entry, and then I'm starting to slide it in to the point where, okay, I can't get my fingers any further than that. I let it open and then I just wiggle it up a little bit. There is a thing. If you are in your first few days of period, or if you are a heavy bleeder, what can happen is, because of that liquid that is there in your vagina, the seal might not open completely. You will feel like the cup is kind of, it's trying to suck in some air, but all it does is sucks in the liquid and it's not opening completely. So the cup stays like this. What you can do is you can get up and move a little bit and recheck it again. Otherwise, guys, you have to remove it and reinsert it again, because what will happen is it will leak. It will simply leak. Happens to me first few days, first mainly day of my period. I do have remove it, I rinse it up again and reinsert it. If you choose to place it in this way, again, I go down against the skin, I just gently press it, I go in, and I let it open. And then I can push it up a little bit more. At some point when you push it up, you need to wiggle it a little bit, Otherwise, you will just feel like you're pushing up there. In general, I suggest you get the cup as deep as possible, as deep as you can get without unfolding. Even if you hold right at the bottom here, it still won't be unfolding completely. So if you can hold at the bottom here and let it unfold right at the end, and then you just can wiggle it in, it's gonna be great and it's gonna be positioning well. Time to remove it. Be ready for getting your hands dirty, straight on. If you are a person who cannot tolerate blood, maybe the cup is not for you. If you're a person who is just not comfortable with the idea of getting your fingers into your vagina, removing the cup, maybe having some blood spilled on your hands, maybe the cup is not for you. But just to be straight on and honest with you, your hands will get dirty. So as you want to remove the cup, again, choose your place. It can be in standing and sitting. If you stand, again, remember, it may leak. It may leak on your clothes. It may leak on the floor. So toilet usually is the optimal place. Again, remember everything previously said. Be careful not to drop it. And as you sit, first of all, the cup is there up, it's open, it has the seal around, so it has the seal around the vaginal wall. If you just pull it, not comfortable feeling, guys, not comfortable feeling. So you have to go inside, okay, press against. You see, if I press just lower here enough, the seal is already removed. And then you just slide it out. You might have a little bit spillage in your hands, and it's in your hand. You pour it out, you wash it, and it's ready to go in again. All right. Now, I might have missed something covering it here, maybe some specific details. Right, I remembered exactly what I have missed. One thing I have missed, and I'm asking about, if the cup can be replacement for pessary if you have a prolapse. No, guys. Cup is a cup. It's there for your period and collect blood. It's too soft. It doesn't have enough support, and if anything, many people will find it uncomfortable if they have 2 or more grade prolapse to use a cup. It will feel that it will make them heavier. So the cup is not designed to support your prolapse. And some people just accidentally discover that it is more comfortable for them and they get enough support. Me, as a clinical specialist, as a pelvic floor physiotherapist, I cannot suggest you to use the cup as a support for your prolapse. Pessary is the way to go. If you find this guy useful, if you still have more questions, feel free to comment. I'm really looking forward to address your question. It will be great to have your contact me back. It will be really great if you let me know what do you think, if you ever tried cups, maybe you tried something else. I will try to find menstrual disc and make a video on menstrual disc. So let me know, what do you think about it? Make sure you hit the like button if you find this video useful. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you very, very soon. Take care.